she does not pancake it. You know what I mean, yeah? She's a straight talker. I looked at this person and I said to myself that this person speaks the content as it comes from her heart, and that's because she truly wishes growth and betterness for anyone. I left there that day knowing that someday I not only want to host this person, but I want to be able to get a voice to go around the world on my platform, transforming people who possibly are going to meet her on my platform. But I only met her in her office, and words that were said that day changed a lot of things to me. It changed a lot of things for me. That day was the day I started thinking big. Somebody say think big. I mean, that day was the day I practically started thinking big. And every time, in fact, many people don't know that when you hear Win Nigeria, it actually started in somewhere in Amukoko where I domain. A policeman had shot a young man, and then there was this intervention I had to do between the community and the police people. CNN called, BBC called, the news was heavy. Everybody wanted me to come talk, and then I told them that I was not going to make so much popularity thing because a young man died. And then what I did was convert the energy of that intervention, and then I created something called Win Amukoko. I was trying to get Win Amukoko happen, and then I was getting all the necessary obstacles. I was just getting obstacles here and there. And something flashed in my mind. I remember the meeting I once had once with Dr. Chioma Okoye. And it changed everything. She said a few things about, I don't just want to talk to people. I want to talk to people, make impact. I want people who are ready to make what I say to them work. And then I realized that to do that, why do Win Amukoko when you can do Win Nigeria? Am I talking with you? So why do Win Nigeria when you can do Win for Africa? Today we have registered it is Win for Africa Limited by Guarantee. And the most exciting thing is that one of the things you don't know is that we're making it Africa's largest knowledge gathering, value infusion and idea crossing festival. Next year is going to be bigger than this. We're doing Lagos today. We're doing Abuja on the 30th, same this year. Next year we're going across Pan-Africa, and it's about the black race. Somebody say the black race. It's about bringing goodness everywhere. One of the beautiful things about goodness is that our God is good. And one of the sweet things about our God being good is that we're made after him. So in other words, human are expected, or that we are what? We are good. And so what goodness everywhere means to us is that enough about good people laying back. Enough. Fortunately for us, he's going to be joining in Zoom. He was supposed to be here live. They called in this morning and said, unavoidable absence. I am talking not because I have this word scripted. I'm just saying that for everything that we have done from the beginning to this time, we're concerned about making a movement. We're not stopping yet. And then this movement, we're going to take it to the ends of the world. The movement is about saying goodness everywhere. It is Win Nigeria. It is goodness winning over Nigeria. Goodness in families, goodness in the polity, goodness on streets. One of the things I said in the last section is that street is the new... that you who are going to become the new ambassadors for goodness everywhere. In whatever you do, understand that we are all called to become more. And like the signature message says, we are signature. In other words, we are called to live significantly. And so if you want survival, you will struggle. If you want success, you will survive. And that's the reason why you see many Nigerian politicians. The truth about it is that the reason why anybody will kill or do whatever thing they want to protect their wealth is actually because they are surviving. It's not because they are truly successful. But you see, if you want significance, you will definitely succeed. In other words, it means that every time you are surviving what you're doing, the survivor mentality says that you're only living. But every time you want to succeed, it means that you're living well. But every time you are thinking of significance, it means that you're concerned about it. Excited to continue. Thank you very much.
So the core of Win Nigeria is to bring goodness everywhere. That is the message we preach. To bring goodness in the polity, to bring goodness in everything we do, to bring goodness in our home, goodness in our offices, goodness in our institutions. That is what we preach.
We're determined to rebuild and restore. Where freedom reigns and truth prevails. Our land where there's hope for us all. Hope for us all. We'll defend our land.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker today is a growth strategist, organizational transformation expert, and an executive leadership coach. Is a graduate of the prestigious Land Fellowship Program in Leadership and Strategy from the London Business School. He has facilitated training programs for many reputable organizations in Nigeria and across Africa, Ghana, Cameroon, Kenya, Zambia, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, and Liberia. He is the author of numerous books, among which are The Difference, What Successful People Know and Do That Ordinary People Do Not, and The Alphabet of Leadership, The A to Z of Improving Your Leadership Effectiveness. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Maxwell Uba. Dr. Maxwell Uba would be speaking on building a value-driven nation and the responsibility of serving coming generation. Please, let's welcome her again.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm honored to be here. Where's Allah Emma's signature? Para, thank you for this opportunity. My fellow speaker, Dr. Choma Okoye. I can't wait to listen to her session. And my account that I just met, I've forgotten your name, but thank you. Thank you. I'm supposed to speak on building a value-driven nation and the responsibility of serving what? The next generation. I think, just like you said, we are going. This is better than what we did in 2019, and it can only get better. You understand? It can only get better, and we'll continue to support you by God's grace in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay. First, you may be seated, sir. You may be seated. I want to just talk on strategic wholeness a bit. Then I will now talk about what I want to share this afternoon. But I say this as a Nigerian that is vested in the Nigerian project. I say this, everything I'm going to say today has no party, religious, ethnic coloration or affiliation. I say this as somebody that wants Nigeria to win, somebody that wants Nigeria to succeed, somebody that wants Nigeria to take a place in the Committee of Nations, somebody that wants Nigeria to fulfill her prophetic destiny. So that's what I'm going to say today. And the things I'm going to say, I don't want you to read any ethnic colorations to it. Now, when you check the word wholeness, you know what wholeness simply means. It means here from the dictionary, being complete, harmonious, whole, unbroken, undamaged. It means unity. So when you're talking about wholeness, it means something that is complete. It means an integer. It's not a fraction. And if you take something that is said unbroken, undamaged, when something is damaged, that thing cannot fulfill her potential. When something is broken, things will seep out of it. So depending on the extent of damage, you can mend it back, or you can actually discard it as being useless. So if you take a cup of water and the glass is broken, that water is spilled, and there's nothing you can do about that. And how do you know that a country needs strategic wholeness? It's simply by asking one question: is there a gap between performance and potential? So if the potential is what you're capable of doing, performance is what you are producing right now, is what you are achieving, what you are accomplishing. Once there's a gap between your potential and your performance, it means that something is broken, whether it's system, whether politics, whether in terms of the people, something is broken. Every time you see a group of people not for their potential, something is broken. And can I ask you, is Nigeria fulfilling her potential? Talk back to me. Is Nigeria fulfilling her potential? No. So right now, Nigeria is a country that is blessed with the abundance of human and natural resources, but we are not fulfilling our potential. So there's no better time to talk about the concept of strategic wholeness like this moment. There's no better time to talk about that concept of strategic wholeness. If Nigeria will fulfill her potential, then we need to get strategic wholeness right. So strategic wholeness must precede economic development and growth. And today I'll talk about three things that I want to say, then I'll come to value-driven. Every time you look at strategic wholeness, there are three things that I want to speak about in the concept of strategic wholeness: bridging the gap between potential and performance. Bridging the gap. I think that if Nigeria, and when I speak at Nigeria, I'm speaking at Nigeria from the time of inception. So Nigeria got independence in 1960, Singapore got independence in 1965. They were both developing nations. Today, Singapore is a developed nation, and Nigeria is still in the process of we're still developing. Singapore has achieved a lot of firsts in terms of economic indices, and we're still very backward. So I speak to Nigeria from 1960. And some of you that are growing into this nation, we need to get this nation right for you to accomplish your dreams, accomplish your purpose, accomplish your God-given destiny. You come to find out that to a large extent, environment determines the portion of the potential you would express. Take North Korea and South Korea. After the First World War, they fought a war and separated by the 38th parallel, North and South Korea. Why the North went with communism and Russia, the South went with democracy and America. Today, the difference between both of them is like the difference between night and day. The average person in North Korea cannot dream of his or her future. You can't have a goal, you can't have a dream, because the state determines your goals and your dreams. But in South Korea, you can dream of becoming a billionaire, you can dream of becoming the president, you can dream of becoming a politician, you can dream of becoming a scientist. Now, does it mean that the people in South Korea are better than the people in North Korea? No, the answer is no. The difference is simply the environment created by the leadership in both countries. So if we don't get strategic wholeness right as a nation, it doesn't matter what your dreams are, that dreams will be destroyed by the nation. It's like giving you a fantastic car on a bad road. And guess what will happen to that car on a bad road? What will happen to that car on a bad road? The car will be what? Damaged easily. And there will be frustration. The car will be damaged easily. That's the same thing. Strategic wholeness is like getting the road right. So that when we apply, the car is like your dreams, your visions, your goals, your potential. And once you get the road right, then people can fulfill their dreams, their visions, and their potential. I need to be mindful of my time. But am I communicating? Hello, am I communicating? Okay. Now, because I want to talk, I can spend time talking about the 3 components of strategic wholeness, but I'm wondering, would it be relevant to my audience? But let me just list it here, then I'll talk about a value-driven nation. I'll just summarize it. Now, there are 3 major components of strategic wholeness. Because someday, even if you are young, someday some of you will become governors, someday some of you will become senators, House of Rep members, and perhaps there's somebody here that might become the president of Nigeria. And so it's better to catch them what? Young. They asked me a question when during the interview process and asked me, should the youth be in politics? Should we give the authority to the youth? And I said to them, it's not a problem of age, it's a problem of mindset. Now, it's not a problem of age. That if you give a young person that doesn't understand the concept of leadership responsibility, he will not be better than the old person that is there. So it's not a concept of age. It's a concept of what? It's a mindset. That once that understanding is not right, age is not important. It's the understanding first that determines that, then age will happen next. Now, in the context of strategic wholeness, there are so many pillars that determine strategic wholeness, but the 3 that I want to focus this morning is on 1, responsible leadership, 2, viable institutions, 3, great economic policies. So which one is important to you? Let me just focus on number 1, which is responsible leadership. What is responsible leadership? From the concept of responsible leadership, it means that you have also what? Irresponsible leadership. Hello? Are you here? From the concept of what? Responsible. And responsibility must start long before people get the positions of authority. That's why I'm calling it responsible leadership. Because responsible leadership is not just for those people in positions of authority. It must start from the very beginning. As people begin to grow, one principle, one value that everybody needs to recognize is the principle of responsibility. And responsible leadership here simply talks about you and I taking responsibility for our visions, for our goals, for our dreams, and for our future. So if I start with you as an individual, before I come to the people in positions of authority, there's a parable I would like to share with you this morning. It was a parable of a young guy who went to a village. Let's assume he was doing his youth service in a village. And when he got to that village, he was told that there's an old man, a sage, a wise man, a guru, who could answer any question that you have in your heart. And he said to them, that cannot be. How can somebody tell you any? He said, any question he could answer. And the guy said, that man is a fraud, and I need to prove to you that the man is a fraud. And so what he did was that he went to to the forest with a sling, or what we call a catapult, and with a sling and a stone he caught a bird, and the bird was almost dead. And so he took the bird and said to the villagers, "Can you take me to the old man? Let me see whether the old man can answer my question. I want to show you that this old man has been deceiving you." So the villagers took him to the old man, and he had the bird in his hand behind his back, and the bird was almost dead. And he said to the old man, "Old man, I hear you can answer any question that you are asked." And the old man said, "What is your question?" And he asked the old man, "Old man, the bird I have in my hand behind my back, is it dead or alive?" And what was his strategy? His strategy was simple. If the old man said the bird was dead, he would bring the bird out alive and show the old man and tell the people, "I told you that this old man was deceiving you." And if the old man said the bird was alive, he would squeeze the neck of the bird and do what? And kill the bird. So him, he felt that either way, he's going to what? Win. It was a fail-safe. And the old man looked at him and saw through his intentions and said to him, "Young man, it's in your hands to make dead or alive." Did you get that? It's in your hands to do what? Make dead or alive. So whether the bird survives or what? Or dies, it's in whose hands? It's in your hands. So, and when he said that, the young guy was stunned. You understand? He couldn't do anything again. He had to bring the bird out. And what is the message here? It's the same message to you. Young man, young lady, you understand? It's in your hands to make what? Dead or alive. Your career, your future, your dreams are in your hands. And you need to begin to take responsibility for your own future. I will speak to people in positions of authority, but you need to start with the concept of responsibility. When you understand the concept of responsibility, you know it's in whose hands? It's in whose hands? It's in my hands. I choose not to blame the government. Should the government provide the road? Yes, I understand that. But it's in my hands to make what? Dead or alive. So let's take the potholes. Let's assume that the government did not tar the roads and I'm driving by that road. What should I do? When I get to the pothole, what should I do? I slow down. I navigate it and I move up. Cursing the government will not change the fact that there's a pothole on the road. I need to take responsibility even with the limitations in the environment. So that's my challenge to you this morning. As you start the concept of making alive the things in your hands, somebody took responsibility from Amukoko. The guy today is here in the Muson Center. Tomorrow he will be in Rwanda. Tomorrow Kigali. Tomorrow he will be in Nairobi, Kenya. And before you know it, somebody will be wondering, how did it happen? Because somebody took what? Responsibility for his own dreams. Not waiting for the government, not waiting for politicians to support him. Yes, Madam and I were discussing about next year's plan. Support will come. But if you don't start now learning the concept of responsibility, if I give you the presidency of Nigeria, you will make a mistake and a mess of it because you don't understand the concept of making alive the bird in your hand. Yesterday, I did a short video, 1 minute video, and I said if you look at the word start, hidden in the word start is the word a star. Hidden in the word start is the word a star. Everybody wants to be stars. Everybody wants to be a celebrity. Everybody wants to stand on the podium. Everybody wants to be a global phenomenon. You understand? Everybody wants to be a star. But you forget that in the word start is a star. So the word start is ethnic or religious coloration. But permit me so that you learn this lesson. I want to bring the example of a young man who was tending the sheep. And that young man was tending the sheep. The bird in his hand is the sheep. For you, the bird in your hand might be your academics. The bird in your hand might be your business. I don't know what the bird in your hand is. The bird in his hand is the sheep. And one day, a lion and a bear came to take the sheep. And this guy says, it's in my hands to make dead or alive. I will not allow the lion or the bear to take my sheep. And this young man killed the lion and the bear when nobody was watching. The next phase was one day he went to distribute things to his brothers. He was sent on an errand by his father to give his brothers in the army. And he saw a giant by name Goliath taunting the armies of Israel. And he said to them that, why are you people afraid that I can kill Goliath? And they said, you're a young man. He said, I have killed the lion and the bear when nobody was watching. And that is the biggest problem with people. The reason why people are not successful on the big stage is because they've not learned responsibility when nobody is watching. Not learned responsibility. Why is it Israel's greatest king? Is because he has learned. And you see the phase of responsibility. The lion and the bear when nobody's watching. The next phase of killing Goliath. And now the third phase, which is becoming the king, the president of Israel. So if I take somebody who doesn't understand responsibility and I'm making the president, come 2023, now we are doing party realignment. People are crossing parties and the rest. And the simple reason, whether Nigeria will make progress or not, is a function of the kind of people that we're giving the positions of what? Authority. If they don't understand responsibility, there's so many definitions of leadership. Leadership is influence, leadership is service. But in the concept of responsibility, I say that leadership is accepting responsibility for a group of people for the benefit of those people. I take that again. That leadership is what? Accepting what? Responsibility. So the president of Nigeria, the governor of your state, let's use Lagos State for an example, accepts responsibility for the state, that's the group of people, or for Nigeria, that's the nation, for the benefit of the citizens of that nation. So a leader is not who he says he is. A leader is who the people take him to be. And the only way the people will call you a leader is because their lives, they are making what? Progress. And if they are not making progress, if you don't accept responsibility for that group, for the benefit of that group, you are not a leader. You are simply occupying position. Am I communicating? Responsibility has nothing to do with giving excuses. When I give excuses, let me say this. Somebody said something that, you see the beauty of excuses is that life doesn't care about that. For everything you give an excuse for the reason why you failed, somebody in the same environment succeeded. For everything you give an excuse, whereas there are people who are blind, they are successful. There are people who do not have hands, they are artists. There are people who came from a worse economic background than you are, and yet today they are successful. For everything, and it starts with responsibility. I can't talk about building institutions, what the 4 dimensions of institutional building is. I can't talk about economic policy. So let me end for time and just talk a bit about value-driven nation and serving the next generation. Value-driven nation and serving the next generation. If you think about it, just starting from there, your life, you're not an individual. You're not an individual. You are actually a generation. You're not an individual. Because if you look at it, you have a father, a mother, but beyond that, someday, some of you, in your lunch, you will start your own family. And if you look from family, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, you are a generation in the making. So everything you do right now somehow affects. When somebody dies, it's an individual that dies, you understand? But does it affect other people? Does it affect other people? Father, mother, does it affect them? Yes, it does. So our lives are connected. Now, I want to tell you what is a nation in a simple definition. I'll summarize this in 10 minutes. What is a nation? There are different definitions of a nation, but I think that a nation is not just defined by geography. You understand? A nation is not just defined by geography. I want to define a nation in a way that you can understand it, is that it's a multi-ethnic or multicultural society that is bound by 3 things. Number 1 here, that they are bound by a common purpose, a common vision, and a common set of agreed upon values that will govern how they live together. Hello? Are you here? Bound by at least 3 things. It's a multi-ethnic or multi-what? Cultural society. bound. I know there's the geographical landmass of a nation. I understand that. But you can be bound by that geographical landmass, but you are not really, from the concept of a nation, you are not a nation. There's a common purpose, there is a common vision, and there's a common set of agreed upon values that holds a nation together. Now, what is the concept of a common purpose? So you take the North and the South that was amalgamated in 1914. Why was it amalgamated in 1914? Because the British believed that together we are better than individuals. That's the common purpose. Now, together we are better than individuals. And the second here is a vision. The vision for Nigeria must cover every ethnic group and every religious group. That vision for Nigeria, common vision. And number 3 is a common set of agreed upon values. That this is how we are going to deal with. So think about it. You're in the North, I'm in the South. Somebody's in the West, somebody's in the East. How do we know that we're still committed to the national project? How do we know that we're still committed to nationhood? It's simply because there has to be a contract. That contract says that, Maxwell, when you leave this place, this is the belief system, the value proposition that you must exhibit. Now, when I see you exhibiting those values, I know that you are committed to the national project and identity. Now, our religion is different, our language is different, our culture is different, but we are bound together by a common set of what? Values, agreed upon. That in this relationship, it's like a business contract. You are doing a business with somebody. In this relationship, these are the principles by which you will guide this nation. And where do you have a problem in a nation? Both from Rwanda to Somalia to South Sudan to every time you have a problem in a nation, from genocide to secessionist movement to ethnic cleansing and wars, is simply because a certain group of people, individuals, begins to feel that this nation is not ours. This nation is mine. Once a group, any group, whether it's Rwanda, the Hutu ethnic cleansing and all that, the same thing happened in Singapore. In 1963, Singapore decided to join Malaysia. Why did they decide to join Malaysia? The British were about giving up the trading post called Singapore, and they felt that as a small entity, they would be better off in the larger entity called Malaysia. That's common purpose. But they found out that there was a small group of people in Malaysia, the extremists, who wanted to dominate Malaysia and wanted every other religion, every other ethnic group to be submissive to them. And in 1965, Singapore pulled out from Malaysia. Every time you have ethnic wars, every time you have genocide, every time you have the agitation for separation, it's simply because one of these 3 things have been broken. There's no common purpose that we are better off together. And why is the problem we are better off together? Somebody is looking at his or her life. A group of people are looking at their life, and they're seeing that a certain group is actually benefiting and the others are struggling. Am I somebody? Are you people here? People are quiet. Am I speaking to somebody? Yes, respond. Every time, from Singapore to Sudan, every time, look across. A common purpose. We are better off together. Same thing in a marriage. When a man and a woman comes together, the reason they came together is because we are better off together. We want to build something. You understand? We are better off together is the common purpose. The vision is the thing as a marriage that we want to build. You understand? But in that marriage, there is a set of values and agreed. So they said to the man, do you, forsaking all others, take this woman as your, you understand, lawfully wedded wife in sickness and in health, for better, for richer, for poorer. There's a common set of agreed values. So a marriage is not just a covenant, it's also a contract. And every time a marriage begins to fail, that contract that holds us together has been broken. So for the Nigerian nation, there's a contract. The question is, what is it? What is the contract that holds the North and the South, the East and the West together? That contract is what keeps us as a nation. So a nation must have founding fathers. Founding fathers are the people who came together and said, we want to make this nation great, but it must also have founding principles. A nation with founding fathers without founding principles is more of a monarchy or a kingdom. You understand? It's that founding principles that determine that this is a nation. When you lose the founding principles of a nation, what you will have is a monarchical system or a dictatorship. And guess what? It's just a matter of time. A certain group, a certain sect will start agitating. Am I supporting agitation? The answer is no. But for us to build a value-driven nation, we need to agree what binds us together. So the values we espouse, it what tells us that we are still committed to the vision of nationhood. The values are the contract between us. You understand? The agreement between the north and the south, the east and the west. Is that values that binds us together. And let me just say this. I know 2023 is coming. People are talking about, is this zoning, not zoning? I'm not interested in zoning. Whatever they decide as the political party, what I'm interested in is the person that should be the president should understand the concept of a common purpose, a common vision that covers every ethnic group, and a set of agreed upon values. That values is what I can hold my president, my governor, my senator accountable to. That's what makes a nation great. Am I communicating? Have you ever flown an aeroplane and asked for the religious beliefs of the pilot? You've never? Are you sure? You've not asked, pilot, are you a Muslim or a Christian? Why? For you, his religious beliefs are not what? Important. Important is what? His competence and your what? Your safety. So his competence guarantees what? Your safety. And that's what is important. So we should not allow the politicians to divide us. We should not allow them to bring the ethnic or the religious trump card. Do you know, sir, it was just 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I knew your surname. When you sent me the video and I saw your surname, in my mind, I've always thought that you're a Yoruba man. Ola signature. Ola cannot. You get where I'm coming from. But what binds us together is not tribe or ethnicity. What binds us together is a common set of vision. I see a young man who wants to make a difference in the lives of people, and I also want to be a part of the difference he's making. That's what binds us together. We should not allow our politicians. We should not. I remember so many years ago, a lady friend of mine asked me, who's your best friend? And I mentioned somebody, a Yoruba guy. And he was stunned. He said, a Yoruba man is your best friend. I said, yes, he is. He said, Yoruba man. I said, He said he was going to betray you. But he has not betrayed me so far. He said, just wait. And I've been waiting for 20-something years. And he has not betrayed me. You see, we should not allow people to divide us. When we see people through the lens of values, we don't care where they are from. We don't care, you understand, what their religious beliefs are. That's their religion. We don't even care the language that they speak. There's a language that binds us together, and that language is the common set of values. So let me give you 4 values as I end this in order to build for the next generation. 4 values that would help every one of you. So speak to you. I want to call it rise. If Nigeria must rise again, if Nigeria would fulfill her prophetic destiny, if Nigeria will become a great nation, if Nigeria will bridge the gap between potential and performance, if Nigeria would speak and the whole world will listen, or cough like they say of America and Africa and the rest of the world will catch cold, then these 4 values, there's so many, but these 4 values has to be in place for the whole. Since I started with responsibility, RISE, R-I-S-E, R will be the concept of responsibility. We need individuals and leaders who will accept responsibility for the problems of the nation, for others, accept responsibility and solve that problem. And can I say this to you? Leadership is not positional, guys. A leader is the person that accepts responsibility. So if there's a problem, just like you talked about the Amukoko problem, and he accepted responsibility for that problem, in that position, he's who? A leader. Without what? A title. The person that accepts responsibility to solve that particular problem, to make a difference, is the person that is called a leader. So we're in a classroom, and 2 people are arguing and fighting and the rest, and you step in, you accept responsibility for your classmate, and you step in to solve that problem. What are you demonstrating? leadership. You understand? You're on the road and there's a lot of traffic and there's no traffic warning, and you come down to accept responsibility for others. Notice the word that every time we talk about leadership, we're talking about accepting responsibility for what? For other people. So you accept responsibility even without a title. You are a leader. So the first point here is the concept of responsibility. And for those in political offices, you cannot accept responsibility without being accountable. You can't accept responsibility without being accountable. If you look at the word accountability or account table, you can divide it into two. It's the table where you give account, or it's the ability to give account for your office. So every leader, at the end of 1 year, you should give me what? Account. Account of how you spent the budget. Account of what you have done for 1 year. That sense of accountability means that you are answerable to the people, and your people can challenge you and ask questions. The day a leader is no longer answerable, you understand, there's no account, no longer answerable. When we ask questions, you become defensive. Is the day you start slipping into dictatorship. And it's just a matter of time. You will end as a walking disaster. It's just a matter of time. So point number one is concept of responsibility. And every one of us here has to imbibe it. Point number two in the rise. I can be called initiative, but in responsibility, I've covered initiative. So I want to take I as integrity. Now, the second, every leader swears to a constitution. So the day the president is sworn in, he's sworn into that constitution. There's a constitution that this is your allegiance. Now they'll put your whether Quran or the Bible by the side, but you're swearing to the constitution. And so I talks about integrity. Integrity says that you need to abide by that oath. It's the oath of office. And for every profession, as an accountant, there's an oath of accountants. Doctor, there's an oath. It's called the Hippocratic oath. Every profession has its own oath. And integrity means that we need to abide by it. Am I speaking to somebody? To me. Am I speaking to somebody? And when I teach people integrity, for my time's sake, when I teach people integrity, I say you can divide integrity into two. There's a part of integrity that deals with character. So you honor your word. You honor. If you say you're going to be here early, you are here early. If you say you're going to do ABC, you are here ABCs. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. You honor your word. If you made an oath, you need to honor that. There's a second part of integrity. And I want you to understand this. If you take this microphone was designed to amplify my voice. Now, when this microphone fulfills what it was designed to do, you say this microphone has what? Integrity. It's designed to fulfill it. So the second part of integrity is about competence. You cannot be a person of integrity if you lack competence. And I want to speak to you as students, you understand? So a doctor has integrity. Can I tell this to you? If a doctor, every time you operate on someone, they die. Is that person a doctor? Maybe he's a mechanic. He lacks what? Integrity. Because he should also understand his limit. I don't want to spend time for my sake. But there's a part of integrity that is competence. So if you are called to do things, you understand, there's a part of integrity that's about being the best at whatever you are. So that every time they call you, you can deliver value. With that competence, you might be nice, but you won't deliver value. So integrity has those two components. And what I see in the Nigerian political space, in other spaces, is that sometimes you see one component, sometimes you don't see, sometimes you don't even see both competence. Now, let's both components. Next is RI. What is S? And S is about service to humanity. S is about transcending selfishness. Can I say to you, in every human being, is the tendency to be selfish. It's natural. It's there. So if we take a group picture right now, and I give you the group picture, what's the first thing you're going to do? You look for yourself. It's human. It's natural. You look for yourself. And if you close your eyes when they took the picture, you will say the picture is not nice. So you are the definition of the picture. But if you like the picture, it doesn't matter who else is in the picture. It's a level. You can be successful being selfish. but you can never achieve significance with selfishness. You can never achieve significance with selfishness. Because significance requires you to transcend yourself. Significance requires you to put others. You understand? Significance requires you to go the extra mile, not for yourself, for others. I just saw something on my LinkedIn page of somebody, an Ivorian, who in Ghana saw a rubble, a house fell. And guess what? The house fell and there were people under the rubble. If I was selfish, it is none of my business, because at least I am safe. And that's what we see of a lot of people. At least I'm safe. So it doesn't matter if somebody's under the rubble. It doesn't matter whether somebody is dying or not. At least I am safe. And this guy went, put his life at a risk, tried and brought out 17 people from under the rubble. And today the ministry, either the Ministry of the Police Affairs or Army or something, has given him a job. Did you see the picture 2 years ago in CNN of a young 1-year-old boy or 2-year-old boy that was hanging on the window of a building, and one immigrant decided to climb? Did you see that? It went viral. Decided to climb to save the little boy. Now he was putting his life at a risk in order to save the little boy. Today he sat the French president. He was given a French national citizenship because he transcended what? Self. Service to humanity. If Nigeria must become great, each one of us must transcend self. We must look beyond what is in it for us to what is in it for what? For others. You know, when a child is born, a child has a tight fist when a child is born. But as a child begins to grow, what happens to the child's hands? Talk back to me. What happens? It begins to what? It begins to open. There are people who they have never grown. It's called the concept of arrested development. Their hand is still like that. From where I come, it's called Aradite, Aka glue. That's where I'm from. It's called, you understand? Their hand is still like that. They have not learned the concept of opening, of reaching out, of extending the hand of fellowship, of serving somebody else. Gandhi says that it is in the service of others that we discover ourselves. So if you want to discover yourself and your purpose in life, you need to learn to what? Serve others. Am I speaking to somebody? And I end. I've spent more time. Forgive me, ma. Forgive me, sir. But I want to add. If Nigeria must rise. So what is R again? Responsibility. What is I? What is S? So what do you think E will be? Guess. It can be excellence, but excellence also, we can put it a bit in between competence and integrity. So it can be excellence. It can be excellence. It can be entrepreneurship, entrepreneurial. You understand? It can be all that. It can be efficiency. It can be effectiveness. So you're all right. But I think that, remember I said that when a nation is formed together, there's something that brings us together. A common purpose, which says we are better off what? Together. A vision that covers the interest of everybody, and a set of agreed upon values by which we will guide our behaviors. And I think that if Nigeria would rise, is the concept of equality. If Nigeria must rise, you understand? If Nigeria must rise, is the concept of equality. That equality says that, see, every one of us here has the same opportunity to pursue our dreams. America right now is slipping away from that. So you can see movements, BLM, black and white, Republican and Democrat, and you can see what the divide is becoming very what? Very great. And that's what happens every time that happens. But equality says that as a Nigerian, what is important here is that you're a Nigerian. And if you're a Nigerian, you must be treated as what? As an equal. There can be one law for a particular group and another law for another group. That if we must rise and fulfill, imagine a family where the father treats one person special. Does it happen in some families? Hello, does it happen? It does. Imagine, especially those of us from polygamous families, you understand? Imagine that once you start giving special treatment to one wife, what happens to the kids of the others is that they'll begin to what? Fight themselves. Imagine that picture. If Nigeria must rise. And the same thing happened when a man treated his family, one person special, his brother sold him into slavery. Every time you begin to segregate, every time you begin to shower special attention to a certain sect of people, all this will happen. If Nigeria must rise, the most important thing is not whether you are from the north or from the south. The most important thing is not whether you are black or white. The most important thing is not whether you're a Christian or Muslim. The most important thing is that you are a Nigerian, and as a Nigerian, you have equal access to the presidency, equal access to becoming anything that you want to become in Nigeria. Without equality, greatness is a mirage. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Please, with a standing ovation, let's give him a wonderful round of applause.
But in all our struggles, we have lost loved ones. It may be cloudy
Thank you, sir.
outside, but not for very long. We will surely see the sun.
So Dr.
'Cause
Maxwell
we
Uba
know
gave a formula for if Nigeria must rise: accepting responsibility, integrity and competence, service to humanity, and equality. Let's give him a round of applause again. Okay, just a quick one. There is a car outside that is blocking the other car, a Ford Explorer, blue in color. The number is APP635EE. Please, the owner of this car should kindly step out a bit to park well. Thank you.
no problem. Go feet stand to fight us. We go stand together. We go beat 'em down.
Our next speaker for today is the principal of Diamond School of International Protocol and Etiquette and a corporate etiquette expert. She's a life coach, trainer, and facilitator in the areas of business social skills, emotional intelligence, and social competency inventory, cultural, cross-cultural ethic, diplomatic protocol, executive presence, and finishing techniques for corporations and individuals. She's a member of the Institute of Management Specialists and a fellow in the Institute of Management Specialists. She's a founding team member of John Maxwell Group and certified leadership coach. She's an alumnus of the Learning Tree Institute and Leicester University, both in UK, and a keen interest in effecting change in the business world also led her to study neuro-linguistic programming. She's a professional etiquette certified by Charleston School of Etiquette and Protocol USA and has a diploma in international protocol and etiquette from Institute Villa Pirefo, Switzerland. She has over 18 years work experience as a management and image consultant. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Chioma Okoye to Win Nigeria 2021, the Lagos Summit.
Stand to fight us. We go stand together. We go beat 'em down.
Hello, good afternoon.
See,
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My wonderful audience, great speakers. Thank you, Dr. Maxwell. Thank you for having me. The organizers, thank you so much. I'm going to be talking on building a sustainable brand in the 21st century and why it's important. Before that, I would like to ask a question. Do you believe that you are a brand? Do you believe you're a brand? Why? You know, I'm a life coach, so I like to talk, feel you. I'm not going to I want to inspire you. I want to challenge you. I want you to live here and change. I'm sure what he has said, you've heard it before. And what I'm going to say, you've heard it before, just that I'm going to say it in a different way. People change for 3 reasons. One is because everybody wants to change, so you join them and change. Then the second one, do you know the second one? Money, right? Okay, money is kind of, yeah. But then we're here for one thing. The kind of change we want this morning is the one that when you live here, you change because you know better. You change because, what have I been doing? Change because you understand that you need to invest in yourself. When you understand that you are a brand, you need to understand, when Dr. Maxwell was talking, he practically said everything I will still say to you. But you know why? I felt so happy that he's saying it, knowing that when I come, I will say it in a different manner. Why? Because that's my brand. You see? When you understand your brand, no more competition, no more jealousy, no more feeling of entitlement, no more feeling of, maybe it was my uncle, I didn't go to school, it was my environment, so what? We talk about future. It's not about yesterday. What can I do to change that? So this morning or this afternoon, I'm going to challenge you. Yeah, and I'm glad to be speaking on this topic at a time when globalization and social media have made the world smaller by providing more options for visibility. Okay, also at a time where young, hardworking, industrious Nigerians like you and me you're receiving a lot of negativity because of what? The negative impression they have about Nigeria. Okay? As you are seated there right now, and I'm sure you're wondering, how is branding relevant to my business or my career? Is that going to put money in my pocket? Am I right? What is she going to talk again? Right? Let's see if it will put money in our pocket. How can I build a sustainable brand in the 21st century where you have millions of Nigerians struggling for one thing? Is it possible? What has brand got to do with that for me? And I want you to listen very well. Do you know research conducted by Harvard University, we know about it, Carnegie Foundation, Stanford Research, has it that 85% of your professional success is attributed to your social skills and polish. Did you hear what I said? 85, how many? Harvard, Carnegie, and Stanford. That 85% of your professional success is attributed to your social skills and polish. And only 15% of this, your technical knowledge. I'm sure you're a graduate, right? So only 15%, meaning that what you need to make it in life, you already have it. Maybe you don't know. Now, do you know that personal branding is a function of professional polish and that good skill that we're talking about, that social skill. Now, when you hear brand, every time you hear brand, you think of only product, right? You think about product like, product. Do you see yourself as a brand? Do you? You don't? Tell me. Okay, so in the process of building your brand, you as a person comes first before the product. So that tomorrow, when you leave here, when I tell you, are you a brand? You're not just answering me because if she's asking me, am I a brand? Meaning that I should be a brand. Or you walk out here to understand why you should invest in yourself. Personal branding is important in building a sustainable national brand. It is the conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception of oneself. Did you hear hear what I said? It is the conscious and intentional effort to create and influence public perception of one's self. Your brand is your stamp, is your DNA, is your signature, is your mark. What are you known for? Because if you're not known for anything, like I said, people learn to do things because other people are doing it. So you follow them and do it. At a point, they know what they are doing, so you get frustrated in the middle. And you come back again. You go and study another course. And then someone says, okay, it's pure water that is raining. Then you do it without understanding that you can still do that pure water, but unless you understand yourself as a brand, then the product would work. Okay? The journey of personal branding begins with what I call the journey of self-discovery. Because your greatest asset is to grow who you are, not only now in this room, throughout your lifetime. I'm still growing my brand. I will live here. I will learn from what they've said. I will work on it. Just that I keep doing what? Growing and being the best. It's not just once you go to school, you learn something and you leave it there. It is growing who you are all your life. Every human have 4 different sides. And I'm sharing this with you, and I usually don't say it, but I want you to live here and be inspired, and then you go and learn more. Whatever you hear now is not enough. It's for you to now go and do the needful. Okay? So every human being, every of us, we have 4 sides. Right? It was created, I think it's Johari window model. Have you heard about Johari window model? Have you heard about it? Doctor, you've heard about it? Okay, so it was created in 1955 to help people. To do what? To improve their self-awareness, number 1. To enhance people's perception of themselves and the perception of others. The model is divided into 4. The first one is called the arena. The second one is called the facade. The third one is called the blind side. And the fourth one is called the unconscious, which is the best one. So the arena is where you have information known to yourself and also to others. Now, the word arena, you already know what it is. It's like your space, where you, arena. Anywhere that is your space, that you relate with people, your small groups, the relationships you have, your social clubs, you know them, they know you, your family, they know you. That, even you know yourself because they tell you. So that is the arena. Then we have the facade. It can also be called the mask. So this is where information is known to self, okay, but not to others. Now, this is a place where maybe you're chasing a girl, and then the girl doesn't know you. And then you had to borrow a suit, borrow things, and then you go and form. That is not you. You see? And that person does not know you. Now, why am I giving you these 4 sides of human beings? It's for you to understand that if you cannot know this about yourself, then you have to believe that you're a brand. Okay? So, why is it that once you get into a place, you change your accent changes immediately. And you try so hard to stop, and you're not stopping. You don't have control. Does it happen to you? That mask, and sometimes you feel bad about it, isn't it? And you can't do anything about it. And then you cannot understand that it's destroying your relationship. It's destroying you from believing in yourself. And this thing is about you knowing that it exists. That's one thing. And then we work at, how do I change it? What do I do? Because if you don't know that there's a problem, you cannot do anything about the problem. Then the third one, information is known to others. However, you do not know about it yourself. Hello? It's known to others, but you do not know about it. And the information can be in form of body language, habits, mannerism, tone of voice. I mean, you've had to observe other people do things and then you tell them they do it and they don't even know. Isn't it? Okay. Meaning that you still don't know yourself very well to think that you cannot do anything, that you're not a brand. That's where I'm going. Now, the last one is called the unknown, the unconscious. I love this one because this is the God factor. Yeah? This is where you unleash untapped potentials and talent. This is the you that maybe years back nobody knew he would do what he's doing. That is this one. So because of that, you cannot give up on yourself. Because of this. So this one, it is information is not known to yourself or others. Nobody knows this part of you. Hello? I don't know if you're getting it. So even you don't know what you can do. And we're talking about brand. And we're talking about how is it possible. I want to challenge you to understand if there is this side of you that I don't know, nobody knows, only God knows because it is untapped. That means you have not given yourself enough attention. You have not understood what you're supposed to do. You've not discovered who you are to know what you're supposed to do. And then sometimes, okay, you can even discover, but you don't even know how to go about it. That's why you see some people, they have content, but then they package it. If it's not packaged well, you have so much knowledge. You can talk, you can do all this, but then the packaging is so poor that you're being priced so low as well. Because we're talking about brand. So what are you selling? What am I buying? What is the content? And these days we think is social media. And you see something that someone posted and you go and post it. If you're not authentic, I'll go there. It will not last. We're talking about sustainable brand. You cannot sustain something that is not authentic. That's why it has to be original. That's why it's your own DNA. Nobody can take it from you. And that's why it is something you must do consistently. If it's not consistently, it will not work. You have to find it, nurture it, grow it, develop it before you own your brand. You own it and nobody like you. You own it without apology. But you can own something that you have not nurtured. Something you stole from somebody else. Something you just, nah. And if you have only packaging, I buy it, I find out there is no content. It will not sustain. All right? Okay. Where did I stop? All right. So, based on Harvard research conducted again, less than 15% of people have truly defined their personal brand. And less than 5 out of 15 that is already poor, less than 5 are living it consistently. At work, each day, every time, wherever. Why? Why? Can somebody help? Why do you think? Okay. They've not discovered themselves. Who else? Maybe I should read the research again so that you'll understand. Let me tell you, it said, based on a survey conducted, less than 15% of people have truly defined their personal brand. And less than 15% are living it consistently at work. Why do you think that is so? Wow. Okay. In the case of consistency, they are not precious. So, thank you. Yes. How many of you know that there's no bad, wrong answers? That's life for you. Try. If I fail, I learn. That's why you have to answer. Try. Maybe if somebody had answered, I would have given you a free course of emotional intelligence or something. You don't know these things, because when you understand your brand, you showcase it. Every opportunity, you show it. Every opportunity, you show it, and we are watching, and people are, yes. So this is because a lot of people have failed to, like I said, identify their brand, develop their brand, nurture their brand, and own it. As young professionals and entrepreneurs, you should know that business isn't conducted solely on the product and services you provide, but by character, integrity, and personal relationships you've built, like he said. People don't buy from your businesses alone. They buy from people that they like. Did you get that? People do business because of trust. If I trust you, I give you my money. Why are you struggling to, can you buy this? Most of the jobs that I've gotten from the plane, from Nogasi, because everything is your brand. You don't need to talk too much. We talk too much without content. We talk too much without, let them, that is why you have to consistently, while you're doing it, people will see it. If you came in here being intentional, that I'll get there. If you get in here being intentional, you must raise up your hand and answer so that we will see you. But if you came in here, okay, let's come in and see what would happen. For you to have a brand, you must be intentional. For you to do what? Have a brand, you must be intentional. The moment he was sharing the vision, I told Dr. Maxwell, I said, next year, this boy, we will take this thing. He didn't come to me, did he? He didn't. That's brand. That's what brand can do for you. You know, I want you to understand that it's not about, let me wait. I don't want to rush. I want to follow. So you've heard it. If consumers buy from people that they like and not businesses, oh my God, does that mean that people will buy into you first before they buy into your product? In a saturated market. In a saturated market. Are you hearing me? Okay. So in a saturated market, consumers try, like, people will even buy lies just because they like you. Brand is, you need to live here. You know, look at, we came in here, Dr. Master was saying to me, I thought I would see too many people. What am I going to do with all my, I say it to these ones that by next year you will see what it will multiply. Now, it's not about the number. You understand? It's because we are believing in this brand. It's a brand. So it's a brand. When you're a brand, nobody can stop you. You become unstoppable. It's only when you're not a brand and then you want to do what they are doing. I don't want to do what anybody is doing. I must be different. It has to be different. God forbid that I walk into a place and you not. It's not by only what you dress, what you wear. It's inside. And that's because you have consciously, intentionally identified, nurtured in a place of patience, pain, sacrifice, knowledge. Do you understand? As much as I'm not the regular brand that you see everywhere, but you saw what I'm doing. I packaged myself. It's not about, if you don't know me, it's not, that's your business. My audience know me. I don't need to know everybody. Do you understand? So you have to understand your audience. That is what matters. I don't have to carry everybody. If I teach only the executives, I teach them executive presence. That's my market. So I can't be anywhere and everywhere. Okay? All right. Where did I stop? So why do you think people make mistakes with their brand? They make mistakes because they confuse personal brand with product brand. Yes. Your personal brand must be before your product brand in order for you to align and reflect them. I can't buy something, you're telling me you're an etiquette consultant, you can't even carry yourself. Then that's why you'll be begging me, ma, please now. You don't need to beg me. I see it, I respect and pay for your brand. Do you understand? When I see it, I will pay for it. You don't have to beg me. But when you know this, you live the product and go and work on yourself. Why is it not working? Yeah? All right. So the difference between personal and product. Personal has to do with your skills. It has to do with authenticity. So if you're here today and everything you're doing, nothing comes from you, then you have to go and unlearn, relearn, to learn. Yeah? It has to do with talent. Something you already have. It's just that you don't want to give it time. It has to do with packaging. How are you packaged? You go to the market. What are you looking for? Packaging. You look for this bag is wrapped properly. Is that not what you're This one is wrapped. Oh, this one doesn't look like. Meanwhile, it has content. So it's not enough to have content. It's not enough to also identify that you have this, you have this. It's not enough. Because that one is called unconscious lousiness. You understand? We have unconscious and unconscious lousiness. When you know you didn't do anything, even when you don't know, that one is unconscious. All right? Then we have value and we have knowledge. See, with all these ones that I'm listing, I will not go to say everything here. It's just for you to know. Next time, he has tried to, at least we've given you small points. Then product is this, money. You're seated, you're saying, give me money. It's money that I need. Now today I'm telling you, money is not the first thing. I can't give you money. Why? Because I don't trust you. That's why you're begging me and I'm saying no. You see the now I will give you when you didn't beg me. You see the problem? That is it. So if you're seated here, you think it's money. It's not money. If you do this, that is now magnet. Hey, you enter here, anywhere I go, whatever I want, I get. Because I know how to do it. But when you think it's money and somebody is insulting you on top of it, it's because something is wrong. I'm telling you. All right? So, then resources is part of product. Research is part of product. Target is part of product. Market survey is part of product. I'm sure you're wondering because when you get to product, you start thinking about, okay, Apple does not grow well in Lagos, so if I'm going to deal with that, I will go to Abuja. Or during rainy season, I don't have to do this business, I do that. Those ones are product. These other ones are personal. Now, let me not go into explaining it so that I can give you some other points. Okay, so with personal branding, you have to be intentional. You need to be intentional. You must be intentional. You can't walk into this room not knowing who you want to meet. Remember all the things I said. When you understand yourself, once you see your audience, you already know. So you now know what you don't want. You know, like once you enter into a place, you know what, so you don't waste time. But when you're confused, everything goes. You merchandise this business. What it brings after a long time is frustration, depression. You begin to complain, why are they, Nigeria is this, why are they giving, maybe it's because, maybe it's your environment, you begin to feel entitled. When you focus on yourself, you become big. And you get bigger, you don't see nobody, you see yourself because the potential inside of you, after a long, consistent working at it, people will start recognizing it. Like him now, he will live here now feeling cool. He didn't start today. If he feels cool, that's fine. But that is to tell you, at a point, the brand will stand. You start owning it at that point. But we want to own it without doing anything. It will not work. Yeah? So, finally, why is it that foreign companies, big or small, are sometimes afraid to do business with young? Okay, let me leave those ones. Okay, so in 2016 and 2019, respectively, Mark Zuckerberg came to Nigeria, we remember, and then Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, they came to see some young people, isn't it? Because of technology. Why did they attract them? Is it not brand? It's brand. So you cannot say you cannot do anything. The day you start focusing on yourself, you will not have time for anybody. When I entered here, it's only myself I'm saying. I don't see anybody because it doesn't make you selfish, get me right. It's just that you know that you can add value. The more you add value, the more you look big. And when you believe in yourself, part of the reason why you can't do much, you don't believe in yourself. You go somewhere, you begin to assess other people. You put them before you as in, maybe they went to school. I didn't go to university. I had one girl come to do training in my school. Everything I tried to teach, she said, Ma, in my family, we are like this. And I would look at her, I said, there's nothing I will teach you this season of 6 months that would work if you don't want to believe that you will be that person in your family. I said, yes, that's why I got this. I want to see you in the next 2 years, and I see you standing and making a difference in Nigeria, and I will tell myself, that is me. So now, this is the way I brand myself. So I will do anything for this person because it's my brand. I will not mind whatever it will take me to help her because it's my brand that I'm selling. When you understand your brand, you will stop complaining. Whatever it takes, if you need to come here by 6 a.m. and stay 6 p.m., you know why? You've understood that what I need is here. Going out there is waste of time. But when you don't understand this, trust me, you're helping people build their brand. You can never, ever build your brand. And even when you do, without having this understanding, you will not sustain it. Do you think my business, for example, now, anywhere I am, I will still be doing it. But I might have people. Because it's my brand. So you can't take it from me. So if anybody is coming for me. It's not because anybody. But I can groom people. Your brand is used. That's why you have to invest. It's not about money alone. I just want us to live here and understand that it's not just about money. Money is good, but this brand would get your money. They will hear about your brand. They will come and start looking for you. That is the thing. Money, I won't give you my money just for you to understand why people will not give you. And then you bring your business strategy, and then the person will look at it and say, no. And I tried. I paid people to help me to doctor. You are coming to, imagine you bringing that to somebody like me that I've studied. By the time I even look at how you're talking, I know that I can't give you my money. And you don't know why. You would have fasted and prayed and say, it has nothing to do with fasting and praying. Okay? All right, finally, how many times have I said finally? So developing a sustainable personal brand in the 21st century can be challenging, trust me. And if you do not know how to stand out, you will get left behind. You will be left behind. And I will leave you with some of these tips. Figure out who you are. You know it's not easy. So that means you live here, you go and research, go on the internet. What does it mean to figure out who I am? Then determine what you want to be known for. Have you ever sat down to ask yourself, what do I want to be known for? What do I want to? Have you asked yourself, what do I want? That is how it starts, everything that I'm saying. Yeah, you define your audience. Everybody cannot be your audience. You define your audience. That way, when you see them, there's something inside of you that will magnetize them. Like because you're connected to them, so you know yourself. So you have to define your audience. Then research your desired industry and follow the experts. Yeah? And embrace networking. A lot of people, the way they do networking. Do you know that if I'm going out now and you run after me, let me give you my card. If you're smart enough, you will know that as I'm entering the car, I'll throw it away. But because you don't know, you think you've given me your card. There's a lot you don't know. But maybe if you had answered intelligently, because when I was coming, I said, who will I? It never happened. That is how, because you don't know. If after this training, next time you will do it, because now you know better. You do better when you know better, to be honest with you. Yeah? Grow your online presence, right? Good content. When I say grow your online content, don't take anything from anybody. Make sure it's something that you're doing. It might not look as beautiful as other people's own at first, but make sure it's yours. after a long time, do you know how God created the world? Creativity. He gave us that creative ability. Whoever or whatever you become is inside of you. Honestly. It's only that you will meet someone that will inspire you and wake it. Do you understand? So there is nothing, everything you are already the way God created you. That's why you are more than meet the eye. Who you are is who you are. Nobody can take it from you. It's you that will wake up and begin to ask yourself and ask questions about yourself. Grow your online presence, I said. And then in conclusion, when next you start a project, ask yourself, am I ready to take ownership? Am I ready to do my best and make myself accountable for the quality of work I produce? Quality of work that I produce. Am I ready to stop making excuses? Am I ready to stop blaming others for my mistakes or situations? Am I ready to stop living in denial? Sometimes we live in denial. Am I ready to do away with every sense of entitlement? Are you ready to do away with all these things? So when next you start a project, you try this and see why it's not working. Don't die with the music still inside of you. We know Dr. Wayne. Yeah? How will you know there's music inside of you if you don't grow yourself? There is nothing that you can become that will not start from you. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you did not do. Yes. Than by the ones that you did. Yeah? I said 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you did not do then by the ones you did. Like things that you're supposed to have done now, you should have learned, and you didn't do it. And it's when you're older that you're regretting it. So whatever you can do now, when you leave here, make sure you work on yourself. That I know Nigeria is a problem at the way you thought before, and we also know that it has its own problem. But trust me, if you live here today and tell yourself, what is this self-discovery? Let me discover myself and see that I'm a brand. And why I say you should discover yourself is, if you don't find yourself by yourself, then you will not believe that you're a brand. You know, I can walk in here and somebody will tell me that I'm not my brand. If I did not work on myself, I will not believe it. You have to believe in yourself to start with. And as I'm talking, I'm sure some people are still saying, I don't have the opportunity that you have. It's not true. I've had a gate man work for someone, a friend, because of he understood his brand. When I say he understood his brand, he had this integrity, consistency, and all that. He went to school. He read law. He became a lawyer, and they employed him in their organization, in their firm. Don't tell me that you're not a brand. It's because you don't know. You're saying, I can't be a brand, and you're chasing the product and then doing what? Despising your brand. You're chasing everything instead of looking inward. If you live here today, embark on a journey of self-discovery. Once you do that, you believe in yourself. And once you believe yourself, when he was speaking, did it look like somebody can stop him? Did you see so much confidence oozing out? Why? Why? He believed you are your brand. When you believe in yourself, you're your brand. But not when you don't have anything, no. You're empty, no content. No. But when you've worked hard, and you will still work hard, and you will continue to work hard depending on the degree, the level you want to get to. Do you understand? You don't understand. You can't be lazy training and developing your brand. It's everything. And another thing, please, remember, if you don't get anything today, remember I said, be intentional. Don't do anything if you don't know why. Ask questions. If you're coming here, oh, why are we here? Know why. If you're coming to eat, let it be that you're coming to eat, but don't be unintentional. Yes, ask questions. When you ask questions, you know. Ask questions. What does it mean to be self Ask, read, research. Okay? So what have I done this morning to inspire you, to challenge you? Go out there and believe that you're a brand. Work on it, all right?
Surely see the sun, 'cause we know no matter the weather,
She's an example
no matter the time,
of beauty
we go
with brain. Please, let's give her a round of applause again.
no yawa, no problem. Go feet stand to fight us.
I am a brand. So I'm going to reiterate everything she says. To achieve sustainable branding, you need to find yourself. Be intentional and focus in yourself. It's not about the money, but how you are able to brand yourself. Figure out who you are. Determine what you want to know and define your audience. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a round of applause for her again. Okay, so we're going to listen to this video in a matter of seconds.
Intentional, isn't it? I'm being intentional. Thank you very much, ma. Thank you. Please celebrate them again. Ladies and gentlemen, we have
Any yawa we try to fall on, we go chop 'em like Indomie. Aye, sing, no
please can Mr. Bolaji Ogunshanye join us, please. Daddy, thank you very much. Thank you so much. That's another of our speaker. Mazi is on Zoom waiting for us. Mazi is on Zoom waiting for us. Collins is connecting already. Please let's have. Can we have this podium leave, please? Joshua. Please celebrate. Dr. Bolaji Ogunshanye, please celebrate him. This is a regular face on Nigerian television. I mean, I was still around 16, 17, 18, 19. I was watching this man on TV. Please celebrate him. One-time Lagos aspirant for Lagos State gubernatorial election. Please celebrate Bolaji Ogunshanye. Thank you very much, sir. Daddy, thank you for coming. Thank you so much. Please help me move this. Thank you so much. Greatness, meeting greatness. They are speaking their language. I'm joining very soon. How many of you want to join? All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Please let's have Mazi is on Zoom waiting for us. Any sign? Has he connected? Any sign? Please celebrate those people. Celebrate them. These are Nigerians who are giving so much service to the coming generation. It was a whole